Good Friday evening to you. What is happening where it is happening for you? I, of course, am Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver. Good to see you. I hope everybody's doing just swell this evening. And I just want to put the horse before the cart here a second and say, please have a safe and happy 4th of July weekend. All right. And I know it's July 1st, Canadian Independence Day, for our friends up north, America's hat. Happy Independence Day to you guys, too. It's good to see you all. So, we had a lot of fun last night. Well, I had fun. Paul had fun. Did you guys have fun? Because we had Paul on last night, and Paul, fortunately, was there to hold our hands through a very scary module. And we talked and plotted and schemed about Paul's next visit to the show, which we're definitely going to have to do, I think. How about you guys? Greetings, Dan White. Good to see you. Yo, Mr. White. Science. Anyway. So all in all, had a good show last night. I'm having a pretty good time this evening. And I hope you're doing all right. Michael Connor, hail and breaded. Greetings to you also, Lord Corion. It was good to see Paul again, wasn't it? That's one of those, like him and Kyle, if I could actually afford to have co-hosts on the show, it would be him and Kyle, and the show would be so much better. But they have better things to do with their lives than sit in front of a camera for 5 nights a week and talk about D&D. But anyway, I don't, so I'm here. We're going to talk about the last in the S series of modules published by TSR. Officially published, I should say. You know, I got to get on my moral high horse here for a second. There are a few people out there in Das OSR who have been so bold as to put official Dungeons and Dragons module. Now, look, I did that on fan products that I gave away for free. There's some people out there who've sold stuff with it, and I think one of the earlier ones, a number of years ago. And I'm not talking about Osric. I'm not talking about, it's for Osric, completely different from the other game. But I've seen some people so bold as to put like in their ad copy, the last official Advanced Dungeons and Dragons module, with a reasoning being they're using the official rules. Therefore, I think that's kind of bullshit. I think that's kind of weak sauce, and I don't much care for it. So the last S series module published is Lost Caverns of Tsojconth, and I maintain, and we're gonna go into this very, very shortly here. I maintain that this module isn't an S module at all. It's certainly special. I don't think we could deny the specialness of this module. It is a fantastic module. And like S3 before it, but for completely different reasons, it expands and improves first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons in many different ways. So we're gonna look at what does that. Now, One other quick thing I wanted to mention. I know you guys have probably been waiting because I said I was going to do a video and I was going to talk about D&D in Stranger Things Season 4. I know the last 2 episodes have dropped. I'm going to watch them tonight after the show. And I thought, well, better to do that and give my whole opinion to see if there's anything they circle back around to. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm told to expect the unexpected. So I'm looking forward to it. Without further ado, let's jump in to the Lost Caverns of Tsojconth, or Tsojconth. Which is it? We'll see. First and foremost, I want to share something with you here because this is a little thing I did. I actually did show prep tonight. Don't tell anyone. They'll start to expect it. So where in AD&D is the Lost Caverns of Tsojconth? Well, to answer that question, we need to look a little bit at the history of the module. And let's see. All right, so the first module, WinterCon 5 tournament version, titled The Lost Caverns of Tsojconth. Note, it's an O, not an A. And there's no module code for it. It is not specifically set in Greyhawk. There's many changes and differences between the 2 published modules, but they're fundamentally the same, including the maps. And I didn't get this on the slide. I meant to, and I didn't go back and make the change. Rob Kuntz actually created the map. Not specifically for this. Gary literally snagged the map from Rob Kuntz's notes to make the map for one of the maps for S4. There is almost no artwork. It is very rare and expensive today. If you find one in the open market, for goodness sake, if somebody doesn't know what they have, and you see what we're going to take a look at in a few minutes, it's like, oh, it's some D&D thing. It's $10. Buy it. Buy it. And there few copies exist today. Very few copies exist. So that is the WinterCon 5 tournament version. Now, before we look at that, it's important we talk about the module code. We're talking about S4 in the S series, but there's a little bit of a mystery. There's a little bit of a mystery. S4, as published by TSR fully, is specifically set in Greyhawk. It is fully invested in the world of Greyhawk. Lots of Greyhawk information in it. But, and this is important, it is in the S series of modules. It's cheek to jowl with Tomb of Horrors, White Plume Mountain, Expedition of the Barrier Peaks, which is also fairly Greyhawky. But it seems a little out of step in its overall vibe. Veg Pygmy in disguise is here. Luther Pendragon is just 2 veg pygmies in a big overcoat. Prove me wrong. Anyway. So S4 doesn't quite seem like the same gonzo type of adventure. It's not a killer dungeon. It's not a funhouse dungeon. It's not, whoa, that's wacky. It seems very steeped in Greyhawkiness. And there's a reason why. Because you see, when we talk about Greyhawk modules, specific Greyhawk modules, there was intended to be a series of modules that were specific to the Greyhawk setting. You know how we got the Dragonlance and the Forgotten Realms FR, DL. Well, we kind of had something similar planned by Gary for a WG series, and S4 was supposed to be in the WG series. No, it wasn't WG1. That was something different. And it wasn't WG2 or WG3. It was intended to be WG4. Let's have a gander at this. TSR original letter code plan. WG1, the Village of Hamlet. WG2, the Temple of Elemental Evil. WG3, the Lost Caverns of Tsojconth. WG4, the Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun. WG5, Mordenkainen's Fantastic Adventure. WG6, Isle of the Ape. Greetings. Try that again. Greetings, Christopher Sims. So, if you look here, WG4, the Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun. Whoops. WG3, the Lost Caverns of Tsojconth. So we kind of skipped ahead accidentally there. Let's look at what we actually got. T1, the Village of Hamlet. T1 to 4, the Temple of Elemental Evil. S4, the Lost Caverns of Tsojconth. WG4, the Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun. In our timeline, as it were, there is no WG1 through 3. So if you've ever wondered that, if you've ever been like, was there a WG1, 2, and 3? No. There is and there isn't. The modules that were supposed to be those modules, well, one of those modules was published. Well, a couple of those modules were published. But note here, WG2, Temple of Elemental Evil. T1 to 4, Temple of Elemental Evil. So that's kind of where we got high-centered. So those are the actual module codes. Why? The why is right at that point, as everything was coming together, Gary was sent out to California to run D&D Entertainment Incorporated, to market D&D. Remember, the Blooms are in control of TSR from a business standpoint. Gary's follow-up to the Village of Hamlet, the Temple of Elemental Evil, was up in the air. He handed that project off to Frank Menser, who made a dog's breakfast of it, in my opinion. So instead of kicking off all of these modules, Gary had Tsojconth done first. He had Hamlet done, then he had Tsojconth done. Rather than just reordering the WG series, they switched the module codes, and this is what we get. And so that's why things are the way they are with these module codes. So now you know. Knowing is half the battle. So with that said, let's jump back for a minute and let's look at, close some things here. Let's jump back for a minute and let's look at the beginning. If you've never seen this, first of all, I'm going to tell you straight up, I cannot endorse piracy. But if you really, really, really want the Metro Detroit games, the rare WinterCon 5 tournament dungeon, seek and you will find. That's all I'm going to say. So, let's take a look then. So here we have, and this is kind of a striking art piece here, actually. I mean, it's amateur-ish, but I don't hate it. I don't know who did it, but as you can see, there's a little group of adventurers there in the middle background. Might be a little hard for you to see, but they do stand out. We have this plinth here with a title on it, The Lost Caverns of Tsojconth, designed by Gary Gygax and TSR for Metro Detroit Games WinterCon 5 Tournament Dungeon. Now, you're going to find something interesting here. There are some spelling differences, but look right here from the beginning. If you're familiar with S4, if you're not familiar with S4, this may not matter to you. But right here, several decades ago, when the Archmage Igwilv brought the marches of Perunland, not Perenland, under his domination. Well, if you know your Greyhawk history, Igwilv is a woman, but here he's referenced as a man. Considerable store of treasure was taken from that place and sequestered by him somewhere in the no man's land between the Duchy of Jeff and the forsaken Sea of Dust. Among his loot were several rare and prized tomes and the fabled lamp known as Daoud's Wondrous Lanthorn. When Igwilv was slain by the demon Grast, and his minions scattered by an uprising of oppressed subjects, rumors began to spread regarding where the Archmage's treasure trove was located. Considering the cartloads of precious metals and gems taken away during the overthrow, it is not surprising that most of these whispered suggestions were ignored as spurious. However, the books and the lanthorn were never found, and the rumors did reach some interested parties. For several expeditions have sought to locate these items, but the parties were either unsuccessful in their attempts to find the location of the Caverns of Tsojconth, where the most reliable rumors claim the treasure rests, or else failed to return. Okay. First of all, Paul and I mentioned this, and I've talked about this before. The Lost Caverns of Tsojconth. What is that word, Tsojconth? Gary loved playing with languages. The best definition, and I think, let me see here. If I bring that open, is that gonna... Yep, that'll block that out. Hang on a second. I still have the baseball names up. I should just drag that and then get rid of it. All right, let's see. So, Tsojconth. Well, the first syllable Okay. So this actually, let's see. Let me see here. So this is in the Tsotso language. It is a Maya language indigenous in the Mexican state of Chiapas. And in that language, Tsoj means red. Tsoj means red. And it's important because then if we come back with the second syllable, hang on a second, I've got this here. One of the meanings of the word canth is mouth or hooked mouth. Tsojconth, red hooked mouth. Spoiler alert, the ultimate fight in this, well, it's hard to call it the ultimate fight. There are many good fights. In this module is with a vampire. And who but a vampire would have a red, as in blood red, hooked, as in fanged, mouth? Very clever, Gary. Very clever. Hey, Tunka, good to see you. So right off the bat, to the extremely insanely observant, Gary is kind of tipping his hand. The Lost Caverns of the Red Hooked Mouth. Now, the next fun thing we've got is Daoud's Wondrous Lanthorn. Okay. Well, Daoud is an Arabic term that means, let's see, dear friend. So one may presume, if one wishes, that the lantern is a beneficial item. So Gary having some fun right off the bat with some wordplay in this module, and I love it. I love it. So let's dig into this a little bit more. So here we have a lovely typewritten page. This is the dungeon designed specifically for the MDG WinterCon 5 Game Fest Dungeons and Dragons tournament. It was designed by Gary and playtested by the TSR staff. Use this dungeon for your own tournament or for a new exciting dungeon for 1 dungeon master and 6 players. 6 players aren't necessary, but all characters should be used. The dungeon contains 2 levels, the Lesser Caverns and the Greater Caverns, each with the necessary maps, room descriptions, character sheets, monster characteristic tables, character versus monster hit / damage matrices, a monster description sheet, referee notes, and guidelines for the selection of the best player. Each level takes about 3 to 4 hours of play. So we're back a little bit. If you remember, the A series had instructions on how to select the best player or best party. It's Daoud. Here, let me put that. Okay, so each level takes about 3 to 4 hours to play. The 6 characters are Cathartic, Ethelreed, Flemin, Dunhill, Westlock, Huckerbrecht. And note their levels. They're kind of all over the place, but they tend towards high. But not out of control. Note here, too, they're just boldly saying Hobbit, just flying in the face of the good folks of Tolkien Enterprises, just sticking it out there. MDG thanks Gary Gygax for the design of this dungeon and his permission for its printing. Other people who worked on the project include Will Niebling. That's a name very familiar for tabletop gaming. Charlotte Niebling, Bob Karolounis, Howard Dawson, Joe Tomasi, Rollo Tomasi, Paul Wood, Kathy Wood, Laurie Vandegraff, John Vandegraff, Mike Bartnikowski. Additional printings of MDG tournament dungeons are planned. Does anyone know if that panned out? I was not part of the scene that far back. The dungeon set from MDG Michigan, 6 Game Fest will be out shortly following the convention. For more information, you can get a hold of Howard Dawson in Grosse Pointe. Don't bother Howard. I'm sure he doesn't have any. So we have a little bit of the Book of Marzabal going on here. Not the Book of Marzabal, but we have a fragment. So starting right off, you are a member of a group of 6 adventurers met by chance some weeks past. Each was seeking the caverns. Each possessed a fragment of information regarding them. Together, you have compiled what seems an accurate set of directions to the entrance of these caverns, and you are certain that the Archmage has filled them with a fragment, has filled them with fierce creatures to prevent trespassers from gaining their goal. A fragment of parchment you have states, the right way is narrow, words obliterated. E'en lies the straight path, more smudged writing. The span swiftly of plunge to doom where the what dot matrix printer printed that? This is probably an IBM Selectric, given the time that this came out. Now, back in the day, yes, I'm going to do this. Grandpa is talking. Back in the day, Computer Direct was a company. You loved getting Creative Computing and Computes Gazette and so on for the big Computer Direct ad right in the middle to see, if a 4K expansion card had come down from $79.99. But they sold a conversion kit you could wire into an IBM Selectric and use it as a word-only printer. Anyway, this is probably typed in mimeograph, though. Your information indicates that the caverns are on 2 levels and that the way to the deeper section can only be gained by a chosen few. For the locale was strange in yet another fashion. The Caverns of Tsojconth are a nexus in probability where several alternate worlds touch. So this is getting a little spooky and weird right off the bat. Each of you is aware that numerous parties such as yours, each containing 6 alternate persons like each of you, will be entering that part of the caverns which manifests itself in their respective worlds. So it's kind of meta explaining why lots of people are running in this dungeon. As each group adventures through the upper caverns, one of their number will gain a certain aura, and he or she alone will be able to enter the lower level. So basically, you'll play with 6 teams, and one person from each team can play the next round, while the rest will have to turn back for tournament use only. The chosen from each party will meet, possibly with one or more of their alter egos, when the descent to the lower caverns is made. It is important to get as close to each other as possible to the way down, for the shift by the Nexus will throw together those individuals who are relatively close to each other in location in their respective caverns. Yes, but Tonka asks, a group could leave this dungeon and enter a different world. Yes, but in a different way than you think. We'll see it when we get there. I promise. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be worth checking out. It is important to... Okay. Those who have not located the way to the lower level prior to the shift will not have certain information. Aura will be gained by ability to reason cleverly, to lead, to defeat opponents, to avoid damage or death, to find valuable treasure, to cooperate with your fellows. The gods are watching. Good hunting. Very meta. It's very meta. And so we jump into it. Do you guys need me to zoom that, or do you care about seeing this text? I can see it fine. But whether or not you guys can see it is another matter altogether. And if you wish to, then we can. But starting with the referee's notes. Now, this is not OCR'd. As far as I know, there's not an OCR'd scan of it out there. So, you know. Let's see. It is not possible to have absolutely identical DMing in a tournament such as this. Again, it's still referring to itself as a tournament. Players will do different and unexpected things. Perforce monsters must be refereed differently. It is assumed that all DMs will have played through both levels at least once, so they will narrate what their respective parties encounter in a similar manner. DMs are urged not to give any hints, suggestions, or clues of any sort to their players beyond those indicated in the level matrices. While identical refereeing is not possible, relatively even DMing is a requirement of a fairly run tourney. The magic swords. Believe it or not, both of the party's swords were rolled as is. Obviously, these blades will feel keen jealousy towards each other, and if both are out and not engaged in combat, they will quarrel loudly, argue, bicker, and refuse generally to tell their respective owners what they wish to know unless bribed. Of course, both swords will desire all gems found in order to dress up their respective scabbards. That, I think, is a lovely touch out of the original one. If you have 2 intelligent weapons in the party, they should be arguing. It should be spoiling surprise. You're not wrong, Luther. No, you're not wrong. All right, so there's a couple of magic swords. We have some javelins of lightning. In order to gain as much equality as possible, you must treat combat as follows. Gary's kind of bringing in some tournament-only play rules here. Players will always do exactly average damage according to weapon type. So you're moving right along here. You're not rolling damage. You're rolling to hit. Gary's or whoever is running the tournament is knocking off average damage. According to weapon type or spell, rounding all fraction upwards. So, yeah, if you would have come with, say, done 11 points of damage, it's 6. Monsters will likewise do exactly average damage when they hit. And this is for keeping it moving along. This is economy of movement, as it were. Luther says he's got to go. You and the other veg pygmies are conspiring. There's a fungus among us. See, this is proof positive that you can't make friends with salad. You don't make friends with salad. And Luther is the proof. So we average our attacks from characters and we average our attacks from monsters. But it keeps things moving. Breath weapons assume that they do a number of points of damage equal exactly to the hit points of the user, or half as many if the target makes its saving throw, which is kind of how things go in D&D anyway. All right. Luck is an attribute of the good D&D player. Wandering monsters, it says not to include them. But it's up to you. I mean, I think if you're not using this at a convention, whether you're using this or the officially published TSR one, you can include wandering monsters. In my run-throughs of the official published TSR version, I don't, for reasons that we'll see on down the line. And then a note here, in case you're wondering, because you're like, hey, one person from every table going into the second round. What if it's the hobbits from 2 separate tables or more? So we get to, it is possible that second round teams will have 2 or more of the same characters in a given team. Teams are to be composed of the winners whose group made approximately the same gains in the first round. Thus, it is possible that one team will be made up of winners who were killed in their first round. If a team must be composed of players who gain the poem clues to the goal of the second level, and players who failed to get the way down, allow the former to read the poem once, but do not give them a copy to refer to. Note that if experience gained in the first round by winning players is sufficient to gain an additional level, use the special second round data chart accordingly. They go up a level for play in the second round. Interesting. We'll see that when we get to it. Personally, I think it's a little convoluted, but remember, what we're looking at here on the screen was handed to DMs at the gate. They're going to be running this as a contest. There was no thought given to publishing this exact thing. It's just that over time, they've slowly circulated out, even though TSR did publish a non-tournament version. Got to go real with wife chores. Sorry, guys. Deal. Well, Tonka, have a wonderful evening. So we have some new stuff here for the avid dungeon master. New spell, Quest. Thieves can read magic scrolls and have that ability. New spell, Suggestion. Hit dice as fighter. So I think this is assuming that you're at the very least using supplement 1 Greyhawk in your game, but because remember, this is OD&D. This is not AD&D. This is before AD&D. All healing will be as follows. Cure Light Wounds 4, Cure Serious 9, Healing Potion 5, ouch. Extra Healing Potion 14, double ouch. Guidelines for selection of the best player. Active before passive. Thinking, reasoning before rash. Bold before timid. Uninjured before wounded. Alive before dead. Leader before follower. So an active, thinking, bold, uninjured, alive leader is going to be your best player. Other factors of importance are, is the player responsible for monster kills, either through actual attack or devising methods for others to slay? Has the player managed to acquire a considerable sum of treasure above that held by others in the group? Which cracks me up when even on the Tuesday night group, when they're like, all right, let's just put it in a big pile, and if you need, just take. This is a libertarian fantasy, not socialist. I'm just kidding. You guys do what you want. Who located the magical items gained? And by all means, remember to reward the fellow who causes the party to be saved from certain destruction, or who was clever enough to avoid fighting and still managed to gain the desired end. And so we see the map of the greater caverns. Although it's the lesser caverns we start in. Let's zoom that down a little bit. Here are the lesser caverns. Now, when we see the actual TSR published module, you're going to see just how pretty much identical these are. So we've got about 15 minutes left before it is Gamma World time, or perhaps I should say Gamma Moon. But let's take a look here. And look at the main entrance and a few other locales before we whisk ourselves away to a science fiction place, a science fiction time. Main entrance. Immediately upon descending the stairs, the party will see the narrow passage to the left, and if they enter, see B. The large cave is high vaulted, 30 feet at least, and the roof is hung with some stalactites, but few stalagmites are on the floor. On the right-hand wall before each tunnel out of the place, there is a face in bas-relief. The visage is rather horrid and doleful. When any member of the party comes within 2 feet of one of these carvings, it will speak with a magic mouth. Turn back! This is not the way! If asked specifically to tell the truth, truth is the key word. All will lie except the right passage. This is the way. I ward the only way. If the stone mouth is watched closely, it will be seen that there is a gem inside each. A command to give or yield the gem will not work, but simply stating that the visage should open its mouth will. The first gem is worth 1,000. All other are worth 10. James says, flashbacks to the good old days of those hand-drawn maps. Yes. And again, one of these, I think it's the Greater Caverns. Paul, if you're sitting out there in the audience and you know the answer to this, chime in. But one of these two maps was actually designed, was actually drawn by Rob Kuntz. I think it's the Greater Caverns. And again, Gary was just like, I'll take that. So you have a few different caves that lead out of this. Ceiling of river tunnel lowers water level in 90 feet. When the party reaches this spot, they must turn back. Wooden boat appears normal, but it is magic. It can be rowed with oars in it at 60 feet a turn. If its sail is raised and it is commanded, it will move 18 inches a turn. That's 180 feet underground. And it's 180 feet underground. And that is 180 yards above ground. Note, it's saying turn. Time in OD&D and AD&D is different. Greetings, quick save F5. Okay. So we have some currents indicated on lines. We can zip up and take a quick look at those. So we have these lines here. And number 4 tells us currents swift, moving at 18 inches a turn. Lines indicate direction of boats drift from pond. Other outlets have only weak currents, which will cause a drift of about 2 inches per turn. 5 is an ornate bridge of stone. This should be shown and described, if requested, as having carved projections rising about 15 feet above the water and being made of natural stone. If the party is quiet and listens, they hear a distant roaring sound, a dim thundering. A waterfall about 450 feet distant. To rope a projection and avoid going over the falls, the party has 10 seconds. Count them out as they come within 70 feet of the bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. If they do not have any rope, the bridge they pass by and are dead. And 6, the rock pile, which is where we're going to. We can go a couple more after that. The rock pile is a cursory examination will reveal that this jumble hides a passage. If the rocks are examined as they are moved, it will be noticed that one is slightly bluish in cast and lighter in weight. Inside this is a small stone tablet with graven glyphs, which can be read only by the best player in the party. When this is found, the first round is over. So when your parties go to 6 and find the blue stone and break it open, that's it. The round ends. 7 is the Isle of Rebuke. Any player setting foot on the island will cause it to peal forth with gales of derisive laughter. A great voice will then bell out, Fools, you are in a dead end. Flee back to the south and use the way the water enters, or stay here and die. The island's center is littered with 3001 GP gems. Now, I can't remember. I cannot remember, but I do think that there is a there is a similar thing. I know there's a similar thing. The Island of Rebuke is in the published module, but I don't remember if the 3001 GP gems are 3001 GP gems or 3000 base 1 GP gems. Because if they're base 1 GP, you've got some work ahead of you, Dungeon Master, and good luck with it. That's brutal. Going over the falls, that's easy. You just roll up new characters and start another adventure elsewhere. Calculating 3000 base 1 GP gems, that's a little more. That's why I was trying to write a gold piece calculation program. Blink dogs. Pack is nervous and unfriendly. If the party fools around, they will be attacked. If they mentioned a displacer beast, the mental images conjured by speaking the words will cause the pack to respond favorably, and the four will lead the way to sea and aid in killing the creatures there. No treasure. 20 sturges. The displacer beast. 37 hit points for the male, 28 for the female. They nest in a heap of litter and bones. Amongst this mess is a human skull with a potion of extra healing inside. Nearby, there is a poison potion, and it will always be seen first. 360 platinum, 1100 gold. Nice. Nice. Flesh Golem. This monster guards a map to the boat at 3, a tattoo on its back. Naturally, this is obscured by the monster's clothing, and if the golem is killed in a manner which would destroy skin, the map will be ruined. We have a lurker above at E. 51 hit points. Note, pit just before the lair of the monster. There's a skeleton of a minotaur at the back of the cave, and in the center of the place is a pile of dung from the lurker above, as well as other bones and such scattered about. A sack with 100 silver, 50 platinum, look like the silver unless looked at very closely, and 1300 gold rests near the skeleton of the minotaur. The lurker has 4 gems in its back, 500 gold pieces each. And finally, we'll look at F. Niche with remains. Let's see. At crosshatched area is a niche 2 feet from the floor, about 7 feet high, 6 feet wide, and 7 feet deep. The ceiling of this niche is covered by green slime, which will drop on anyone who enters. There are 4 pieces of slime altogether. The body somewhat resembles something undead. It wears a bracelet of gold and has a bag around its neck and 3 gems. We have some cockatrices, a giant snapping turtle, fire lizards. Hey, I wonder if these are the ones that Tracy bumped into thinking they were dragons. They're not. They won't pursue beyond 30 feet as they are interested in mating. Hey, can we have some privacy here? And they have a pile of loot. And we're going to stop with K. Copper Dragon, 72 hit points, neutral, intelligent, speaks, has spells. It is asleep but will awaken in 3 melee rounds or if spoken to or attacked. It will bargain to allow the party to pass on to the east if given at least 5,000 gold pieces in metal and or gems or jewelry. Deduct 1,000 gold piece for each magic item offered instead. It will tell the party nothing, but it will ask about the fire lizards. If the party has slain them, then the creature will attack them. 30,000 copper, 1,000 gold, 36 100 gold piece gems, 42 500 gold piece gems, 13 1,000, 9 pieces of jewelry. One worth 9,000, 2 worth 7,000, 1 worth 6,000, 1 worth 5,000, 2 worth 4,000, 2 worth 3,000. A jeweled sword, quartz, non-magical, will be hated by the party's swords at first. Value is 783 gold. An ivory tube with contact poison contains 3 spells: monster summoning 3, limited wish, and symbol. Several pieces of jewelry will radiate magic. They have a magic mouth spell on them with a nearly impossible speak command. For a 10th piece of jewelry is a necklace of missiles, 5 of them, with each missile globe encased in an ivory block, which can be pried open along a hairline seam to reveal the missile. So some grenades there. So we have some very interesting stuff, and you're going to see exactly how this is just a little bit different. Just a little bit different. And I'm looking forward to getting into that, and I hope you guys are. I hope you guys are looking forward to reading more of this to see some differences. Now, you might be wondering, are we going to go through all of this, Bill? And the truth is, there's not much here to see. But so we will kind of go through this. Now, when we get to the actual published S4. No, we're not going to go through that. It is a big honking module, and there's a lot of repetition. It'll be compare contrast. Volcano God, thank you very much. Volcano God says that font makes my head hurt. It made people's fingers hurt back in the day because you had to type. Like I said, I think that's straight out of an IBM Selectric. Doomsword says, regarding Gamma World, I'm finishing cooking dinner, working on being there at 9:30. If I'm a minute or a few late, I'll be there. Well, that's cool. Thank you very much for the super, by the way, Volcano God. And speaking of those who donate, I do want to take a minute because I do want to thank some people, as we do at this time in the show. So if you're new, if you're just coming by for the first time, first of all, if you got here via algorithm or you followed a link and you like this, you like the deep dives, you like looking at the ancient stuff that you might not get a chance to look at, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down, but at least tell me why you didn't like it. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Valid criticism is appreciated. But let us take a moment and thank those who have literally kept the lights on around here. Joshua Garlock, Lord Corion, Ricky Maru, Mobius, Kevin Reynolds, Doomsword Deathmaster, Mark Simpson, Damien247, James F. Keck, William Smith, The Dungeon Minister, Manny Wall, Mark Corey, Kevin Wood, Todd Sharp, Carnivore Farmer, Rob Knows I Can't Say That, Jeremy Rule, Boganora, Mikey Mank, Sky Hernstrom, Pete Sullivan, and John David. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. It is awesome that you guys contribute like you choose to. That is very cool. And if anyone else out there wants to, right down there in the banner and in the description, but that's up to you. I love you anyway. So in just a few minutes, we are going to welcome our participants and get started in a little thing we do every Friday night. We're going to play some classic first edition Gamma World. Now, when we left off last week, our adventurers had taken their bubble car, which, miracles of miracles, still functioned, exo-atmospheric, and indeed into, I guess, deeper space than Earth orbit, out of Earth's orbit, and then some unknown force from the very moon itself had automatically guided them in to land in some kind of base on the moon, a place of the ancients in the very firmament. Such a place, of course, was full of mystery and potentially fraught with peril. No, actually fraught with peril, because when the party stepped out of their bubble car, they were greeted by what they initially thought were humans, who immediately opened fire on them, stating that none of them were human. Now, Gurg, of course, is not. But the rest, at the very least, should have somewhat passed the test. But they did not. And they were shot at until they destroyed all of the individuals who, as it turns out, were androids. So just as quick as Doomsword is able to jump in, we will start that game, and I will answer any questions you guys have got. For example, Christopher Sims asks, never saw these original convention competition modules. Are they available anywhere? Tomb of Horrors. Yes, Chris, Tomb of Horrors is available in the folio version if you get the deluxe set of the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Art and Arcana set, which is a really, really fantastic thing to get. It is awesome, and I heartily recommend it. You can get yourself a folio copy of S1, the original convention version. Unfortunately, no one has yet made available Lost Caverns of Tsojconth. Now, the good folks at Drive-Thru RPG were essentially asking for people to send them high quality scans, but their requirements on their scans are that you basically cut the scans apart and lay them flat on your scanner, remove staples, and so on. Now, as far as I know, the Lost Caverns of Tsojconth, the ones that we saw on the screen, it is only stapled up in the corner, but they still want that removed. I can completely understand not destroying something that rare. But until or unless someone gives them a scan that is to their standards, they won't accept this pirated scan that's floating around. What I'm saying is, yes, you can get a copy of S1 easily. Well, it's $75. No, you can't get a copy of S4. You will have to seek that out on your own. So anything else anyone want to ask me before Doomsword arrives? Because I see I've got 3 players waiting in the green room for start. Anyone at all? Any questions, comments, criticisms, negative, nasty remarks? Any super chats? Just kidding. Well, we are going to have to. We'll just have to say that Doomsword's character is strangely silent and sticking in the back of the party because we want to get a move on here. Get a couple hours gaming in, right? It's Friday, game time. Can a limited wish grant raise dead? Yes, it can. I deem that it can. It is much, much more powerful in spell casting range than a simple raise dead. That's just my DM ruling on it. If you are using a higher level spell to accomplish something that a lower level spell can, then I deem that it will work. I see what you did there, Volcano. Thank you. And as with all the super chats, right up on the screen. I appreciate it always. You know what? That'll buy me Coke. All right. So let's welcome our players in and find out what is on this moon base. So without further ado, welcome Gerg, Rex Dashington, and Barongo.
Hello there.
Greetings.
Hello.
Hello to you all. So, essentially, right now, Mobius' character is kind of looking around at the destroyed robot bodies and their weird white milky robot blood spattered everywhere, and says, "You know, I'm thinking, one of us should stay with a ship, because if the robots come back, they could lock it down and we'd be trapped here forever. So I'm going to stay with a ship."
Gerg.
So he fades back into the ship, and Doomsword's character is with you. He is just strangely silent and a little gun shy. So you are standing in the landing bay on the moon base. There's the acrid smell of burned synthetic flesh and in a couple of cases burned real flesh wafting through the air. You see a bright opening about 50 meters in front of you down this walkway, and that is where this cart that they were all riding on came from.
Okay. I caught up on the show last week and saw that where I had taken some serious damage. I think I'm going to strap on the med kit and let it start its wonderful job on me.
Alrighty.
And I think we ought to pilfer any power packs or anything from the rifles that they have, or check out the rifles if they're any better condition than the ones we have.
Let's see here. Let us see what condition they might be in. All right. So there were 4 of them who got out and were shooting at you guys. The first one has a practically brand new looking blaster rifle or laser rifle. Hey, there's Doomsword. Let's bring him in. Maddox. Welcome, Doomsword. Maddox.
Howdy.
So is the second rifle, as is the third. And the fourth is a little scuffed up. You know, it's showing some wear and tear. But in the overall, they all look to be in near perfect condition. They must be. They shot you guys quite ably.
Okay. I suggest we give Maddox at least one of them. He's got my pistol, I believe.
Yeah, and I believe they gave me a laser rifle last time.
Okay. Gertie's going to swap out his, I guess, get a brand new one. At least a slightly scuffed one, whichever.
Okay. So you got some dead androids in front of you. You've got an opening in the distance. What is your plan?
Do we want to hop on the scooter and make our way to the entrance, or do we want to?
I think so.
And get out of here.
It's a moon base. There's got to be great loot here.
On the moon.
Or at least a lot of cheese.
Okay, I guess we'll head towards the light. We'll go to the light.
Okay. Now you note as you're approaching this cart, it doesn't have wheels. It seems to be just hanging in the air about maybe 30 centimeters off the metal deck. There's a couple of levers that seem to slide forwards and backwards. There's a knob. There's a big lever on the side. There are indicator lights on the control panel.
Okay, I guess we'll start trying to figure out how to operate the thing.
Alrighty, and am I to assume old dual brain Gerg is going to be doing that?
Might as well.
Alrighty, roll it.
Got a 9 and a 7, which is actually an 8 and a 6. Sorry, forgot my.
That's okay. It glides about 2 meters to the left and then stops and is just sitting still. You think maybe it lowered down maybe a decimeter or so.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. A pair of 1s this time.
Okay. Yeah. You've got it. The one of the levers moves it forward and backward. One of the slidey things makes it go up and down. The other slidey thing is an accelerator, and the final lever makes it turn.
Okay, I'll look at the guys and motion for them to hop in.
Rex will shrug and hop on in.
Yeah, same.
Sounds good to me.
There is ample room for you all. You go cruising at what I'm presuming is a moderate speed towards the opening.
Yes.
Alrighty. And you're not sure, Gerg, but you think, based on operating other vehicles with similar controls, you could maybe get this thing up to like 30 kilometers an hour at most.
Okay.
All right. So it doesn't take you very long to reach the smaller opening. Smaller only in the sense that you're leaving a pretty cavernous area behind you. And when you go in, you hear a hissing sound, and a dull metallic door slides down behind you in the opening you just went through.
I'm going to check the panel on the cart to see if there's a indicator of any kind that shows that it has done something automatically.
No,
Okay.
you do not see anything. There are a couple of colored lines on the floor. The entire place is brightly lit, although the illumination panels in the ceiling, here and again, some of them, like one side is kind of flickering. You've seen this in the lights in the base on Earth, but many, many more of those were flickering or completely dim. Here, it's just a couple flickering every now and again. Written on the wall in letters that are 2 meters high, just to kind of give you a side of a sense of scale. In ancient writing, but you are able to read it because it is similar to your own tongue. You think it says Tycho Landings Pad 1A. And it's just massive letters stretching down the wall.
Okay.
You do pass a couple of tunnels on either side, and you can see as you're going past them, they're not very deep. They seem to terminate in just bare rock, smooth rock, and they're like a full meter off the ground. And right at the mouth of them, at the level of road, is a black substance of some kind. At the level of their road, that is coming out.
Is it a solid or liquid or?
It's a solid.
Solid. Okay.
Yeah. It's not like oozing out, like it's attached there at the end of the tunnel.
Do I need to stop or do we keep going? What are we doing?
Maybe we should check it out.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Pull it to a stop.
Alrighty. Easily done.
All right, I'll get out.
Okay. This is a really, 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 really wide hallway, wider than the main tunnel in the base back on Earth. But you can be on either side of it.
All right. Anyone want to have a look with me?
I'll go with you.
I ready my laser rifle.
Okay. Looking down the second tunnel on your right, they're all empty except for this one. There's a medium-sized crate, maybe 2/3 of a meter on a side, just sort of sitting halfway up the tunnel.
Looks like we got loot, boys. Got her certain death.
All right. Let's check it out.
You go first.
I'll go
All
down
right.
there.
I'll is there like a locking mechanism? Can I just open it or do I need to start bashing it?
It's got a couple of latches, but you don't see anything locking on it.
All right. He's gonna like pretend to lick the metallic fingers that he can't touch because his head's in a fishbowl, and then he's gonna try unlatching it.
Yeah, they just snap open.
Nice. Then he will gently open the lid and see what's in there.
Okay, covered in some kind of translucent substance, are squares of cloth that seem to be folded garments of some kind. And they are all white.
I found some fancy dress, boys.
Did they look anything like what the other guys were wearing, the androids?
They do. They're identical to their clothing.
Well, how about that?
Are there any raccoon sized?
You know what? There are some that were maybe meant for a human toddler or small child. That if you roll the sleeves and legs up, yeah, okay. You have to make a hole for the tail in the back, but
you're basically a small child, though. Anyway,
yeah. Should we put them on, or what are we doing?
That sounds good to me. What's up with that clear stuff on top?
You're not sure. It's flexible. It feels a little strange to the touch. You've seen scraps of it on objects back on Earth, but you've never seen a complete covering of something in it. It doesn't seem particularly tough.
Let's cut it open.
All right. I have a spear, a short sword. I guess.
So do I.
We could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it parts easily. It's not a big deal.
All right, let's grab
Is there
them
any
out.
symbols or anything on it? Words like writing, anything?
There is a blue circle over the left breast, and in the middle is a rounded, pointed arch. So it looks a bit like a stylized letter A, but it has no cross in the middle, and it's rounded at the top.
We just got promoted.
Yeah, and they're white, not red, right?
They are white, yes.
This is Tycho landing pad A, so that must be what that A is for.
Whatever.
Yeah. Does it fit?
You can find one that fits. There's lots in here.
Okay. Well, I guess. Is it breathable in here?
I mean, sure, you might get a little sweaty wearing it, but you think you think it's fairly comfortable.
You're gonna wear it or make love to it. Give me one of them.
Well, I'm just worried about taking my helmet off. That's all.
Oh, you meant is the atmosphere breathable? I thought you meant as like it's a light cotton. You think it's a medium? It's a medium stitch. Yeah, no, you've got a little green light there in your suit that says you can take your helmet off.
Well, I haven't Cohagen yet, so I assume it's all right.
Yeah.
Will it fit over the top of the suit?
No, it won't.
We'll go ahead and get dressed in one.
Yeah, same.
So I'm gonna take one, but I'm not getting out of my suit.
I'm staying in the suit. I don't know, is there a backpack or something in the suit I could put it in?
I mean, in the plastic wrap, it's only maybe 2 centimeters thick and 30 centimeters on a side. You could probably fold it in half and stick it into stick it in somewhere inside your power armor there.
Or somewhere.
Perfect. Trauma pad. Perfect. Okay.
Here you go.
Excellent.
And there are many in there, so if you wanted to take one back to Mobius' character.
We'll check a few packages of them in the back of the scooter there.
Okay.
These might go for good money back home.
Can you
Indeed,
imagine,
they might.
Can you imagine what that flying guy who eats cloth would do with this?
Do have a point there. That might be a good thing to trade with.
Assuming we make it back home. Anybody got a pilot?
Well, okay, you've got you've got some of these clothes. The hallway goes on into the distance for a ways.
Okay. I guess that once everybody loads back up, we'll head on down.
Okay. You go for what you think is maybe a kilometer and a half, and eventually you come to a broad spot. It's wider, it's square, and it's wider than the hallway you're in. There are a whole lot of these carts. 2 of 1, they're all sitting on the floor. They're not hovering, a few centimeters off. There is an empty space, basically, because they're in neat rows. It is dimmer in here. Most of the lights don't work. And just after this grid of these is a door that people could pass through up a short, and I mean like 4 or 5 steps that go up to a little platform, and there is a door.
Should I park it in that empty space, guys, and then try to remember which one it is that we left our stuff in?
Rex will put a big scratch in the paint.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Put a mark on it somehow.
Remember where we parked, guys.
Yeah, I'll back it into one of the holes and just try to figure out if I can get it to settle all the way down or whatever.
Even with the lever pulled all the way down, it's still a couple centimeters off the floor, but it's rock steady. Just a little, just the faintest bit of springiness to it when you step off of it.
Okay. Well, maybe it wouldn't hurt to leave the keys in it and leave it running in case we need to get out of here quick. Okay. Who's heading toward the door first?
I'll take the lead.
Oh, all right.
I mean, unless you want to.
No, that's all right. You're perfectly welcome to take the lead into the murder hole.
Murder hole's my middle name.
Better than glory hole.
What sorcery
I'm
is
going to
this?
touch that one. Okay. Well, there is a metal door in front of you. There's a little panel with a few buttons. There's a handle below the buttons.
Hey, somebody come check this out.
All right, I'll come over there. I'm terrible at troubleshooting stuff. But
There's a black button, a green button, a red button, and a white button.
How about I step back and you press the green one?
all right, I'll step up there and I'll. Are they the same shape?
Yes.
Okay, I'll push the green button.
Okay. Roll 3d6 for me.
Uh-oh.
No.
Am I going to do this 6 times?
No. You push the green button. There is a faint whoosh sound, and the door slides out of the way, and you're looking into a metal chamber. There is an identical door on the other side, about 3 meters in.
Okay. There's identical door with buttons?
Yes.
Okay. No, I walk in there. I say it looks okay so far. And yeah, okay. Is there any writing or anything above the door, side the door,
Nope.
on the panel? Wow, surprisingly little documentation. OSHA must not exist on the moon. Okay,
Think of
yeah.
it as a tomb.
So I look behind me. If I'm at the closed door and I look behind me, how long would it take me to get out? Assuming that door is open behind me. If I was in a hurry.
Basically, I'd make we would have an initiative roll.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm gonna push the green button on the next door.
Okay, you push the green button on the next door. There is a low buzzing sound, and nothing happens.
Okay, so there's red, black, green, and white.
Correct.
I'll hit the red button.
Okay, there is a less error-ish or angry buzzing sound. It's more of a muffled hum, or and the door that you came into slowly slides shut, and you hear a clunk, clunk, clunk from somewhere in behind it. The rest of you are watching. He walks in, pushes a button. There's a buzz. He pushes another button, and then the door closes. What are you guys doing out in the parking lot?
Well, there went him.
Push the green button again. See what happens.
Okay.
Whoosh.
The door slides open. You hear clunk, 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 and the door slides open, and your friends are still standing there staring at you.
How with it? I'll go in.
Okay.
Might as well. I've already rolled up another character just in case.
All right. What are you going to do? I mean, is everyone in? Let me ask you that.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Alrighty. You have 4 buttons on the door in front of you.
Did you try the white one?
I did not. The red one closed the door behind us.
That is correct.
Well, that would stand to reason, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I'll push the white button.
Okay. There is another when you do that, and the door that the party came in does not close.
Okay, I think I have to push the red button first.
It seems that way.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'll push
The door that you came in closes.
All right. I'll hit the green button.
Okay. The door behind you opens.
Son of a...
Are there any windows where we can see outside?
No.
No. Okay. So it's probably not an airlock.
They got this saying back in my hometown: not the brightest tool in the shed.
Yeah, I'll hit the red button again.
The door you came in closes.
Okay, and I tell them that red button's for the green and red button is for the other door. Let's
Ah,
hit the
fantastic.
let's hit the white button.
The door in front of you opens up.
Oh, awesome. This looks like this opens this door up.
I told you that a long time ago.
Yeah. Okay. I just
This is a very dusty, dimly lit chamber. There are scorch marks all over the wall. It is dark enough in here that you can't quite make out. There's something in one section of the room because it is circular. There are collections of chairs in various places around the room. In one section of the wall, the chairs ring around the entire room. There is a group of shapes just kind of pushed up against that corner. And as I said, there are many scorch marks and weird stains and everything else here, and lots of dust.
Okay. Does the security armor have a light? Or not?
That's a fine question. I honestly don't think that strangely enough, the power armor has lights built into it. I will say that you can, at the very least, turn up a light amp and be able to see out of your suit goggles.
Okay. I'll look and see if I can see what those shapes are.
Yes, those shapes are heaped up, desiccated skeletons. They are huddled together. Some of them are curled up like that. Some of them have their arms spread out, laying over tops of other ones. It's a little difficult to tell, but from where you're sitting, it looks like they were all killed with precision shots. And these bodies, these skeletons have been here a long time. They are thoroughly desiccated.
Well, I don't really want to be in that pile over there.
Do they have any objects on them? Pass cards? Anything like that?
Just at a glance from across the room, no. You see that a lot of them have the tattered and presumably blood-soaked remains of jumpsuits similar to yours, but different colors.
My man's got the right idea.
I'm going to go over there and see if there's anything, ID cards or whatever. Something that might tell us who they were or what's going on.
The marks on the walls, are they near us or are they near them?
Mostly near them. There are a few around the inside of the door, basically.
All right.
I'll go up there with him.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit your ride on his helmet.
Okay.
Got my laser rifle ready.
Coonskin cap.
Okay, so all suits have infrared and ultraviolet sensors. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have ultravision anyway, so I guess.
Right.
Yeah. All right. There's nothing in those frequencies.
No.
Okay, it's dark in there. Okay,
it is dark in there.
All right, perfect. While they're moving forward, I'm gonna search around and see if there's any hot spots that show up. That aren't them.
No.
Okay.
No. Approaching the heap closer, you do notice that also, like piled next to the bodies, there are large boxes with handles on the top. They're very narrow but long, and they're like maybe 2/3 of a meter long, maybe 120 to 200 millimeters wide, and 1/3 of a meter high, and they have handles on top. There are what look like rucksacks with some kind of closed opening on the top. There's a bunch of that stuff sitting just on the floor, and some of it sitting on chairs and whatnot next to this pile of corpses.
Gurgle jump down and go investigate one of the bags.
Okay. Appears to be some kind of pull ring. You've seen these things salvaged from ancient clothing and cloth back home and then worked into designs. So, you just pull it and little metal teeth just open up like a seed pod.
Okay. Peek inside.
You see brightly colored clothes, all of which are, some of them are just like wadded up and stuffed in. None of them are folded or in any of the plastic sheathing that you found these jumpsuits in. All of the ones in here look like they'd fit you, Gurg, except they're pink and red and light blue and green pastel. There's also kind of half under that, as you dig around, there is something covered with soft fuzzy cloth.
Pull that out.
Okay. It looks like some kind of animal.
Is it as big as me or slightly smaller?
It's about 1/3 of your size.
I'll find something I can tie that onto my back so I don't lose it. I'll hang
Okay.
on.
All right. You can. There's what looks like a shoe that would be a little bit big for your paws. Actually, it would be very big for your paws. But it's got a long cord woven through it.
I'll hold it up and show it to everybody. Gurg.
Yeah, these appear to be the clothes of children or a child.
Sad. Next.
You muted there, Doomsword. There you go.
Yeah,
He said it was sad. Yeah, sad and next.
Yeah, check out one of the cases.
In the case, just a case at random, it has a metallic latch that has a slot in it. You're not sure how that would open.
I'll look over at one of the guy's spears and then point at the case. See if they can't jam it in there and try to pop it open.
I think I infer what he's getting at. So I'll do that. I'll walk over with my spear and try to pry that open.
Okay. While you're doing that, the door opposite the one that you came in slides open. And hang on a second. Let's see. Give me just a second here, guys. as something is entering the room. It's just outside the room. All right. Into the room walks a 2-meter tall humanoid shape. It looks exactly like the Doctor bot from Earth, except it's not rusted and dented and missing tiny panels here and again. It walks into the room, scans everything. Its head literally turns 180 degrees. And it looks at the rest. It looks at you and says, I'm afraid due to the ongoing emergency that all euthanasia chemicals have been exhausted. Please wait here and a mercy kill team will be along shortly. Do you require music or calm words to ease you in your passing?
What about healing? You got any of that?
Rationally healing any of your injuries would be superfluous.
Yeah, but then it'll hurt more when you kill me.
If you are, when you say it'll hurt more when you kill me, it pauses for a second and says, I will not be the one euthanizing you. I have alerted a mercy kill team. However, if you are in a significant amount of pain, it is within my programming parameters to ease that pain.
I'm good.
I think we're in the wrong room.
I think we're on the wrong planet.
We're supposed to be getting lunch. This seems like it's not lunch.
Robot, how long has this euthanasia protocol been going on?
The protocol was initiated and it just spews out a long string of numbers hours ago.
Could you put that in years, please?
The euthanasia program has been in place for 166.6574 years.
And why was it put in place?
The euthanasia program was put in place for two reasons. An exhausting of most non-renewable supplies within the facility. Also, a detection of genetic variants beyond the allowable in it. Again, it gives you a string of numbers by the overseer computer was deemed to fall outside the permissible variance parameters.
And if you don't mind my asking, where is the overseer computer located? I would love to address it. I mean, I clearly am in a sealed suit and am a pure strain human. Certainly there's nothing wrong with me. I would like to argue my case in front of him.
You lack special authorization parameters to interact with the think tank mainframe.
Gerd will pull out the wallet of different ID cards and hand them to Rex. Let him try those different cards, see if it'll recognize any of them.
I have many different qualifications, and I hold up the cards one by one for it to scan.
It looks at them as you show them, but it is entirely impassive. None of those are proper identification.
And can you tell me in what part of the base are those renewable supplies kept?
Error. If you were from this facility, you would know that. You are intruders.
I open fire.
Here's my authorization. My laser rifle at it.
It emits an electronic squeal and raises its metal hands and its servo tentacles up when you do that. Let's roll initiative. Anybody? Gerg.
Oh, I got a 6.
So did I.
You got a 6. It is a tie. It is backing out with its anti-gravity propulsion as quickly as it can, and it is damn fast. So if you guys want to shoot it, this is your last round to get it at basically point blank range.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're shooting it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Gerd got an 11.
Oh, I guess I should probably look at its. Let's see.
Let me see. Gerd's rifle, I think it's 13. Yeah, weapon class 13.
Okay. A 13. I know what his armor class is now. That will hit.
Let's see. 12, 18, 19 points.
Okay, yeah, you like melt off part of its arm, and as it's accelerating away, destruction of mission critical property is a Class A felony, which will result in your removal from the moon base project. Anybody else want to shoot at it?
Yeah, I rolled a 15.
That will hit.
All right, and that's for 20 damage.
Okay, yeah, sparks are flying off of it, and it's kind of spinning in place, spewing smoke.
I'm going to shoot at it as well.
Okay,
I got a 17.
that will hit.
Plus 1. What is my damage for this? 6 die 8. I get 16 damage.
Yeah, that finishes it off. It's just a smoldering heap of plastic circuitry and metal now lying on the hallway floor. Their little nozzles pop out of the wall and point at it, but nothing happens.
Mm.
They kind of track back and forth.
I am going to grab the wreckage, and I'm going to go try to bury it under the skeletons.
Okay, well this way is well, yeah, you're in your power suit, so yeah, you can drag it over there. It's still slightly on fire, and when you push the heaps of men, women, and children, desiccated corpses on top of it, there's kind of an acrid smoke is now filling the room more so than when you just shot it full of holes.
Time to go, guys.
That's pretty nasty.
Gerd
Kind of.
Gerd's
kind
gonna take the hallway that he came out of, the little corridor.
Well, that's just a hallway that goes ahead maybe 10 meters and goes angles to the left, angles to the right, and goes straight ahead.
So what's the chances this extermination team is coming?
They're probably robotic. I bet it's 100%.
Perhaps we should defend.
or leave. Yeah. Like, wow.
Yeah, or run.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a better area. If we could find that mainframe.
Well, you go first.
All right. Are there any signs indicating what's down the hall or anything?
There is a blue line that runs straight out of this room and goes straight down. Actually, there's a blue line, a yellow line, and a green line. The blue line just goes straight up the middle and goes down the hallway. The yellow line goes to the left, and the green line goes to the right. And you hear something coming from the left.
To the right, guys, and I'll start going towards the right,
Okay.
away from the noise.
What is Gerg doing?
Climbing up on top of Rex's helmet again.
Okay.
And holding my laser rifle at the ready.
Is Barongo climbing on top of Rex's helmet also?
No, but I am following him.
Okay. And how about Maddox?
Yeah, post haste.
Okay. Then Rex, roll initiative for me.
Oh god! All right. Oh, a 1.
Okay. Well, as you guys are going right, there's footsteps right behind you, and you hear a very chillingly familiar woman's voice behind you. Please stop and be euthanized.
Resistance is futile.
Let's roll initiative because they are, or at least she is, raising weapons. Mark, roll initiative. I'm sorry, Barongo.
All right.
I have like 30 things open on my two monitors. Right. I'm sorry.
I got a 2.
Okay. You guys are being shot in the back.
It's the best place to get shot.
Sure.
Where don't you want to be shot? Philadelphia?
On the moon base. Yeah.
In the moon base. What is Gerg's armor class, please?
7.
Oh. Gerg, you are hit. Rex, you are hit. Barongo, oh, you're absolutely hit. And Maddox, you are hit. Ouch. Okay. Yeah, just this hail of blaster bolts hits you all in the back.
That was the only one you got.
Zappity, zappity, zappity. So let's see here. You were shot. Let's see. I don't have enough D6s. I'm just sorry. All right. Gerg takes 4, 10, 12, 19. Rex takes 6, 15, 22.
All right, so that should be 2.
That is correct. Your power shield eats 20 of that.
And since Gerg's riding on it, he gets some of that too, right?
Gerg, let's see, it's 5, 8.
Gerg gets an extra 6 for saying it.
Unfortunately, Gerg takes 24.
Oh.
And Maddox takes 23.
So Gerg got hit twice?
No. I think that was for me.
Oh.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes. Once again, I'm sorry. That was my apologies.
The beam ricocheted off the thing and hit.
Yeah. So, yeah, this female voice is calling out behind you. Please just lie still and remain calm. It'll all be over in a moment. Remember, these are the orders that the mission team programmed in to the main controller.
Screw you.
Fire?
Okay.
What does the? I'm assuming the security armor I have is plastic, right? Since I have an armor class of 3.
Correct.
So what's the reduction, or is there? It's a beam weapon, right?
It's a beam weapon.
I'm trying to. I see it doesn't have it in the. Maybe
Let's see. It's
I just assumed there was no reduction.
yeah, it's really your damage reduction is having armor class 3, you know. It's just
Okay.
like,
Does my teddy bear give me any protection?
oh boy. Gonna make a D&D style saving throw. Although I was driving myself nuts trying to find saving throws. Gemmerald mentioned saving throws. Gemmerald doesn't have a saving throw mechanic.
Nice.
Thanks, Jim. Teddy Bear has a hole in the middle and is on fire.
No.
Oh,
Hey, you discover
Make
it's
me
a
mad.
raccoon stuffed animal.
Opening fire. Return fire.
All right.
Absolutely.
I got a 14.
That will hit. Yeah, these are 4 identical androids. Well, you presume they're android because they all look exactly alike. Female, pleasant expression on their faces, holding blasters at arm's length, just quickly walking down the hall towards you guys.
And
is
they're
there
all
any
like
cover to
butterfaces,
take?
right?
You got
I'm sorry.
3 points of damage.
23 points of damage, okay. Anybody else?
Oh yeah,
Rex missed.
I'll fire as well.
Okay.
I got a 16.
That will hit.
All right. 68 or 8d6? It is 68. Okay. I got 24. That was actually a pretty good roll.
So yeah, 24. You
24 damage.
yeah, you sort of just burn a hole in it, and you know it's milky android blood, and they're still like trying to track you.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, I'm gonna fire.
All right.
I rolled a 10.
That will
It's
hit.
a rifle. Oh, okay, great. Oh wow, 27.
Okay, yeah, you guys have damaged them all. The one in front, you know, again, burned, charred synth flesh. They're all wearing the white coveralls, same as you. They stop maybe 5 meters away. They're not seeking cover, just impassively firing their weapons again. Kevin, roll initiative for us, because I know what they're about to do.
You got a 6.
The party just manages to go first.
God.
Excellent.
Ooh, a 19.
That'll hit.
Ooh. 22.
Okay.
I got a 18
That will hit.
for 21.
Okay.
I got a 14.
That will hit.
Okay. Uh, 21.
All right.
Man, I rolled a 10 again
That will hit.
for 16.
Okay, so one is still up, and it's the one that Maddox just shot kind of You take one of its arms off at the elbow rather than center mass, but it's still up, and now it's speaking in that voice and saying, again, just repeating, lie down on the floor. This will all be over in a moment.
Hey, you're relentless.
We were programmed to assist you in every way you ask.
Healing.
Please don't kill us.
Take us to the mainframe.
Unimpressed by anything you have to say.
Rex, you are going to eat a laser bolt.
Oh, boy.
10, 16, 17.
That's it.
20. 20 points.
Oh, whoo.
Yeah. Your power screen flickers and dies. Okay, what do?
Attack.
Pew pew.
Okay.
Somebody roll for initiative.
I suppose that'd be mine.
Yes, that would be you.
This is 3.
Party goes first.
Nice.
5.
5 will not hit.
9.
A 9 will hit.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
24.
Yeah, that much damage. It just kind of melts and collapses in on itself, falls to the ground.
Well done.
Your patch Rex on the helmet. Dunk, dunk.
I'm going to use one of my Medipack
Yeah, me too.
units.
Med packs.
Yeah, Maddox is over there, like doing, like wrapping his arm in gauze and everything, and you guys are putting these electronic devices on you.
Well, I have 2. I have 2 packs, so there's 4 charges each, right? So I'll give him one of the packs.
Okay.
So
That's mighty nice of you.
I'll have 2 charges left. He'll have 4 charges for his. Okay.
Okay, so they are lying in a puddle of burnt plastic and melted synth skin and destroyed circuitry and whatnot. Somewhere there's a clanging sound, and all along the hallway there are red lights softly strobing.
I'm gonna take one of the rifles if they're not damaged. If we didn't mess them up in the firefight, just as a backup.
Let's see. Let's take a look. See here. They did get pretty blasted. I mean, you guys were close enough, and there's lampant heat from near misses even. Let me see here. All right, so one of the rifles is pretty melted. Yeah, that one's shot. Oh yeah, you found one that'll definitely work, and one of them is it's blasted in half. I'm sorry, these are not rifles, though. These are pistols.
Remember, these are pistols. Okay. Do they use the same batteries as the rifles?
Yeah, it's a standard charge.
So, are the batteries okay, or they're also trashed? Basically, the weapons that are bad are bad. Across the board.
The weapons that are bad. Yes.
Okay. All right.
What about the robots themselves? Can we determine if they're using the nuclear batteries?
It's not like that. Their power systems are deeply integral to them, and they are also shot full of holes.
All right.
Greg's keeping his
what's
eyes
the
down
deal
the
with?
hallway.
Sorry, what's the deal with the medical pack?
The Medi kit. So you have a Medi kit.
Yeah, I think
Right,
it
I'm
just
not
heals you
finding that
entirely,
yet.
right?
Yeah, the Medi kit is a small portable unit you can hang on a belt. Allows even a novice to treat himself. Major first aid and medical. You place it over the wounded area. Basically, by dint of magic, as far as you're concerned, it heals all repair.
Oh wow!
And
this thing
when it hits something like if you had a broken bone, if I had said, oh, okay, you fall down an open shaft and take 30 points of damage, that would be broken bones. The medikit would tell you how to set them.
Oh, all right.
And then give you pain meds for it.
And it's got charges.
Yes. I think you said the one you gave him has 2 charges.
No, I gave him the one with 4. I kept the one with 2. So.
Oh, okay.
That was especially nice. Right, so then I would have 3 left. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Says it treats all manner of medical problems. So in a very chirpy voice, it advises you that you have been exposed to a high temperature lasing device that has caused third and some high third degree burns, like deep tissue injuries. And it will apply a supply of antibiotic analgesic synth flesh over it. And to please remain still for a moment. There may be a slight tingle.
So it's a smart ass too, huh?
It is. They all sound exactly like this. You've seen them put these boxes on, and now you're doing one of your, and they all they're as pleasant as can be, which is maddening considering the circumstances. You hear a metallic clanking coming from somewhere behind you from the area you just left.
We should probably get going.
Yeah, nothing left for us here. Behind us, as in we went right, and they're from the same places these other things came from, or we don't know.
Correct. Well, you don't know.
Okay. All right. All right.
It's not in front of you down the hallway spur to the right that you are going.
Right. So I guess maybe that's the way we should just continue going, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Rex is going to keep his eyes peeled for any sort of signage that indicates, at least what part they're in, what part of the base they're in.
Okay.
Oh, and Gerg has direction sense, so I can get us back to our ship without any issue.
Alrighty. Okay. as you are going down the hall, rounding from somewhere behind you, there is, I mean, you hear it, a mechanical and not at all pleasant voice is calling for you to all halt.
As I'm looking back, do I see what it is? Can I see in the distance through the strobing red lights?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not far behind you. It's like maybe 20, 25 meters that you guys have gone when this thing hoves into view. It is 2.5 meters tall, humanoid shape. It is walking. And it has like two arms that have multiple cylinder projections coming in it and has raised them both. And on one shoulder is a flashing blue light and the other is a flashing red light. You are in violation of base security. You have 30 seconds to comply.
It's like Max Steel.
Are there any rooms that we could duck into, or?
There are, yeah. You're passing some side passages and doors along the way.
Yeah, we should turn.
Yeah.
Pick a direction, room, whatever. I'll follow whoever goes wherever, not straight.
Well, I guess Rex will shoulder his way into a door.
Okay.
See what's in the room.
This appears to be kind of like the rooms that had the little tables with a single chair behind them. You saw them back in the base. There's a few rows of them. There's a skeleton slumped at one of them with a square empty bottle with a black label around it next to him, and a small cylinder that's tipped over with a few white nodules lying next to that. Otherwise, the room is empty. And that's the room you guys have dipped into.
No other exits from this room, just a big old room with one door.
Yeah, that is it. You can hear the clank, 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 and the door flies open. The thing, like a thin beam of red light just kind of plays across you all. It like stops on each of you and says, "You are in violation of base security protocols. Drop your weapons and surrender. I am authorized to detain you. You have 10 seconds to comply. You will be taken to a detention center."
Well, problems can always be solved with a gun.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
Okay.
Lay my rifle over the top of his helmet and get ready to fire.
All right, let's roll initiative, please. And I think we were back over to to James.
Okay. Got a big 4.
It will go first. One of the cylinder projections coming out of what would nominally be an arm. The entire affair rotates around once. There's a clunk sound. And
I hope all he has is gas.
okay. So let's see here. Yes, that is it's he fires a torque grenade at you. Roll up new characters, guys. Let's see here. It's a heavy fog of a white gas bursts out amongst you, and two of you don't. You're not wearing spacesuity kind of things. One second. All right, so we're going to treat this as poison.
Fantastic.
It's all good. Because I'm not the person breathing it. Let's see. Poison matrix. All right, so we'll start with Gerg. What is Gerg's constitution?
16.
16. That is a good constitution.
Thank you. I grew it myself.
All right. Let's see, because this is old stuff in here. I don't think you need to worry about this. Yeah, no. Just it just kind of numbs your mouth a little bit, makes your eyes a little weepy, but you're like a little bit dizzy, but not seeing double or anything. Just how about Maddox? What is Maddox's constitution?
I have a 17, sir.
Oh yeah, no, you're like, I'm bathing in this stuff. Like
I needed that.
Okay.
Yes, Beth.
Love the smell of gas in the morning.
Okay, counterattacks, gentlemen.
15.
All right.
The 15 will hit.
Yeah. Big 14 points of damage.
Okay.
So I have a gas mask. Can I throw the gas mask to Maddox and shoot on the same turn?
No. Mm-mm.
Then I will throw it to Maddox and give the finger to the police bot.
Okay, so you're taking your helmet off and giving it to Maddox? Is that...
No, I had a gas mask from one of the things
right.
in the base.
I do as well. Yeah. Separate.
The Knights of Genetic Purity had their gas masks. Well, I mean, you guys are sealed in your suits. You don't, but yeah, if you want to...
Oh, wait, Maddox has... Oh, that's right, he has a suit. Okay, never mind. Then I'm going to... Wait, who doesn't have a gas mask then? Barongo?
No, I have a gas mask and I have armor.
Maddox is not wearing armor, is he?
I've just got plastic armor. I'm not wearing a space suit or whatever.
Okay, then if he needs it, I will throw it to him. Otherwise, I will shoot.
Well, you're going to be a while getting that out of wherever. So that's got you tied up for a full round at minimum.
Sure.
I'll shoot then, I suppose.
Okay.
16.
Okay.
Yeah, I assume that's a hit.
Yes, the 16 is a hit. 25. Okay. All right.
I'll attack as well.
Okay.
I got a 15. Now, on the laser, it says if they have AC2 or AC1, it reflects. Is this guy...
that's a fine question. Let's see here.
AC2 it reflects once. AC1 it reflects twice, and then no longer useful for that.
Okay.
Or class 2 and class 1 anyway.
I'm gonna say that it can bounce one off.
Okay. All right. Well, it says don't even roll. So.
Okay.
Yep.
Ping off of its shiny metal hull. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else shooting at it? No? Okay. It's still blaring orders for you to comply out of speakers built into it. Let's see. Alrighty. Whose turn is it for initiative? Rex Dashington. Yang, give us a D6.
Alrighty.
Roll well.
Oh, whoops. I was not in the right place. 5.
Okay, it's automatic. You guys are shooting. It's shooting. It will. Let's see. A negation bomb. Would that be good? No, I'm just kidding. So many horrible things.
EMP grenade would be great.
A Trek bomb. Would you guys like a Trek bomb? Everything in the blast area not protected by a force field is disintegrated. Suddenly, Rex becomes not only the most popular, but the most alive member left in the party. Okay. So our two characters, Rex is still fumbling with a gas mask right at this time. So there's another pop, another cylinder rolls, and ooh, that's a little bit. Oh, sorry. All right. Again, it's a minty odor.
He just threw some mouthwash at us.
Yeah. Brush your teeth. All right. So this is Poison Matrix. Let's check the poison table. That was a little bit better. You guys are kind of coughing now. You're like, oh, whoa. It's hopefully it doesn't have another one of those. Let's see. James Gerg is con 16, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Gerg is actually going to be incapacitated. You're seeing double.
Oh boy.
And like there's a couple of robots over there, and this 1/6 gravity is just, it's not helping. So for one round, Gerg is groggy.
Okay.
The rest of you are fine. You may return fire.
Okay. Groggy means I can't do anything else, right? Just
That is correct. Throw up. Yeah.
Shoot the one in the middle.
Rex, turn your wipers on. I just puked down the visor. Oh.
Gerg. I'm the one in the middle, you drunk idiot.
I need some Rain-X.
I'll fire it.
All right.
I got a 5. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you get?
A 5.
Okay, that's a miss.
okay, so we've established don't roll a 5.
Yeah, that's firmly established.
Zing, zing. Okay, Rex, it's up to you, buddy.
Well, is he able to throw the mask to Maddox?
Oh, yeah, that's what you're doing in this round. So you throw the mask to Maddox. So it raises, there's like a clicking sound in one of its arms. A couple of panels open up, and you see a honeycomb, perfectly circular arrangement of holes that immediately begins to spin very rapidly.
Well, that can't be
And
good.
is just kind of emitting a high-pitched whining sound as it's bringing it towards all of you. I'm guessing Maddox is putting the mask on this round, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I ain't got time to bleed.
And the rest of you can shoot. Gerg, he's down to the point where he's just got a little bit of a halo around him. And I think we're over to Barongo. Roll initiative, please.
All right. I got a 2.
Oh.
Okay, there is this horrible moaning sound, and this thing just plays these barrels back and forth across you, and you're all, let's see. That is a miss on Rex. That is a hit on Gerg. That is an absolute hit on Barongo. And that is a miss. No, that is a hit. Let's see. So
At least it wasn't
you
an
are
absolute hit.
you are all pummeled by it hurts like someone's throwing rocks at you, and you can hear them bouncing off the wall behind you. They're bright blue projectiles. I mean, and it hurts like hell. So let me see here what that would be. I'm going to treat that. And the fact that it's a minigun does not, I mean, so let's see.
Damn you,
That doesn't
Dylan
help a
Precision.
damn thing.
All right, so it's class table. All right, so that is class 10. And yes, everybody I said got hit. And so Maddox takes 13 points. How many hit points did Maddox have right now? Before
He was back. Yeah. he
Oh,
was back to full.
you were back. You were back to full. Okay.
So he had 97. He was at 50 before that.
All right. Barongo takes 16. What is Barongo at now?
I'm at 55, so 38,
Okay.
39.
And Gerg. Gerg takes 9. How many has Gerg nominally got?
He was back at full health too. He used his last med pack. So
Yeah, that stings and hurts and bruises like hell. It's just hosing you all. It's just like a jet of water, except the water are angry, nasty little chunks of some plastic substance. You may fire when ready, guys.
I told you I ain't got time to bleed.
Ooh, got a 9 that time.
That will hit.
Oh,
Or wait, no, I'm sorry. A 9?
Yes.
Yes, that will hit. That will hit.
Yes. 19.
Okay. Anyone else?
Oh, Rex got a 19.
That will hit.
23 damage.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay.
I got a 17.
Okay.
6. 21 damage.
Nice.
Oof.
And I got a 14.
That will also hit.
24.
Okay. Yeah, you guys basically just kind of do the automatic bullet dance there for a second, and it stops hosing you. And you just raise your guns up and just unload into this thing and just blast it to pieces. It's shoved back out into the hall and is now like fully on fire. There are different alarms sounding now.
Well done, boys.
I'm gonna swap batteries since
Okay.
I'm out of shots in my rifle.
Yeah, I gotta switch mags too.
And I guess they're 5 shots. I thought they were 20 shots, but I guess they're 5 shots.
Yeah, 5 each.
Yeah. So
Now, it occurs to you all, everything this thing was doing was non-lethal.
yes.
The androids have employed absolutely lethal force. You're not sure about the slug thrower. That hurt like hell. You're pretty sure you could make a case for that to have been a lethal attack. But the first couple of gas grenades just kind of made Gurg wheezy for a moment. So what will you do, adventurers? What will you do?
Strip it for parts.
It's on fire. Do you want the fire? It has lots of that.
Dang it. All right.
And hey, depending on who you take that back to on Earth, you know, that could be a big thing. High tech. Him bring high tech.
Gerg's going to check out that body and the bottle and everything that's on the table.
Yeah, it's about the same condition as the ones in the room, the circular room that you left before, you know, Rex decided to desecrate the dead. But it doesn't show any signs of trauma. Like, you know, there's no stab wounds, there's no crusty dried up blood on the desk or anything. There's just as I said, a square bottle of clear glass. There is a faded black label that wraps around 3 sides of it with very inscrutable and elaborate, you're not sure if they're designs or writing or whatever, and lying on its side next to it with a few tiny crumbled white they're just piles of powder at this point next to it. The body is wearing a dark green jumpsuit, shoes, some kind of bracelet on it.
Maddox just figured out that his laser rifle has a battery. Anyone got an extra one? Because I'm fresh out.
I think I have 1 left. Yep,
Oh,
I have
maybe we
1
can
left.
find one.
So I'll give you the last one I got.
Well, that's very nice of you.
I'll pitch another one to him as well.
Thanks.
We need to find some more of those hydrogen cells.
So should we head back down the hall or
So
Go
the red
back.
lights are still going on?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Did he have anything in that jumpsuit? Was there any pockets or anything?
Yes. The cloth is dry rotted. That's one thing you've noticed. There's very little humidity in the air in here. You're all actually kind of starting to feel thirsty, not unnaturally so. Just you know how it is. You've all worked in data centers, but yeah, there's some personal effects. A little flat back black piece of plastic, maybe a centimeter thick, 3 centimeters by 2 centimeters, with a red stud or rivet on one end. A picture of what you can only presume is this person, fixed to the surface of one of the rigid plasticine cards, smiling politely. And when you hold it at an angle, the picture seems to literally come up out of it.
Ooh, interesting. I'll show what I've found to the guys. Show it to Rex specifically. See if he recognizes anything.
Rex, roll a d20.
All right. 17.
You can't. Well, what is your mental strength? Let me ask you that.
16.
Yeah, you're like that. Oh, that is the little. Oh, it's like when you wake up and you're trying to remember details of a dream. It just you can't grab a hold of it, and it just no idea.
Okay,
Sorry, Gerg. I just can't remember.
I'll pat him on the shin and put the stuff in my little pouch. I'm back up on his shoulder.
All right. What to do, adventurers, intrepid adventurers?
Guess keep moving forward or check out some of these other rooms maybe. See, at least look into them. See if there's anything of interest.
I agree.
Hope the fire brigade doesn't come and try to put out the robot.
Okay. The other rooms have tables arranged in them. One of them you recognize as someplace for studying things and gaining knowledge from them. You've seen this back on Earth. There are glass bottles in places. There's one of the thinking machines, that solves problems and opens things and closes things and turns on power. At least that's what you think it is shut off, but it's sitting on a bench. There's a bunch of rooms nearly identical to this one. Some of them only have one of the small tables in it.
Do we see any signage or any maps?
No signage, but there is a rather elaborate map, or at least you think it's a map on the wall, because where you're standing, there's a pale dot, and it says, "You are here." It's like a pale red dot.
Is there anything to indicate like a data center or command center, anything like that?
No, nothing on this map. All the lines are still clear. The color is fading on them, but the words faded out long ago. Probably because there's a light focused right on it.
Is this removable? Can I take this off the wall without destroying it?
Yeah, there are 4 cross-headed rivets holding it on the wall.
All right, guys. We got a map.
It is about 2/3 of a meter by 1/3 of a meter.
Okay. All right.
And the hallway you're in, there's no sense of scale, but the hallway you're in appears to go some distance continuing in that direction and then branches off into a series of hallways that are, there are large squares arranged evenly in a grid. And then beyond that, there is a large green circle. The other hallways going in other directions seem to go to other variously sized, mostly square rooms. Some of them have little appendage squares attached to them in various spots. There are a couple of places along where there are empty circles next to or right on the path of travel.
What looks the most impressive?
The big green circle is the biggest, is the largest thing on there.
Well, what do you think, guys? Should we head for the green circle?
Fine by me.
Derg.
I don't have a better place to go, so sure.
All right. Well, I guess we'll start heading towards that circle then.
Okay. You walk for maybe 10 minutes or so, and sort of leaning in the doorway as you're passing is what you now recognize as an artificial person. It appears to be like a male pure strain human. And as you're walking up, its eyes open. And it regards all of you.
Hey there, buddy.
Who are you?
I am a Thomas class assistant android. Why are you here?
Well, we're looking for the mainframe. Could you assist us in finding the main computer?
He looks to each one of you and says, I cannot see what is inside your power armor, but your pet is not allowed. I don't recognize its species, and I don't know how you got it past quarantine. And it points at Maddox. Is Maddox still wearing the gas mask, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't scan any of your faces, so I can't tell if I should be giving any of you any information.
Here, let me take this off.
No, you're not authorized for any locations. Are you visiting the residential section? You do realize that there's a lockdown, yes?
Yes.
Well, you see, I received special permission for my pet, but there seems to be some mistake, and that's why we need to find the main computer so we can input that permission.
Voice stress analysis indicates that you're lying. I'm going to summon security. It pauses for a minute.
You and
Done
everybody
so.
else.
Okay.
I will raise my gun at it and say, "Don't call security."
Security has already been notified.
Good thing I already fired.
Okay. It stands there completely passively, and you guys shoot it full of holes. Each of you has, anyone who fires on it, spend a charge.
Spent.
Okay. Yeah, it falls over to the floor without another word.
Is there like a computer console in there with him that
The little niche he was standing in, let's see. I'll give you a chance. Yes, there is.
Gerg, did you want to try to use their computer to
Gurgle
to
sling his
disable
rifle.
some of the security or
Gurgle
something?
swing his rifle across his back and pop his little fingers out in front of him, flex them, and then pop down onto that console and start trying to find out some information.
Okay.
So Rex will put his back to Gerg and get his rifle ready in case security comes.
Okay, I got a 7 and a 5.
Okay. You're not. Let me see here. A 7 and a 5. You get it switched on, and you're in some kind of setting screen, but you don't know for sure what it is.
Okay, I got a 7 and a 1 this time.
Insanity is that which, when you keep doing it over and over, you don't get different results. But you're able to get past the main screen to a screen of options.
Okay, 2 and 1.
Okay, first option screen, second settings screen, and you are now at a screen where you can select current news and information, shuttle landing and takeoff times, news you can use, sports, things like that.
One weird trick to save you on.
Do I see what the date is? I mean, is it like relative to what we've been noticing around everywhere else, or is it?
No.
Okay. Continue trying to navigate here.
Okay.
6 and a 1.
Okay, you're trying a few different options. The screen blanks for a moment, and then comes up, and from somewhere in the little niche you're standing in, very pleasant music begins to play. And on the screen, there are these pastoral images that must be some kind of visual recording from old Earth. Sometimes they're close-ups of pink flowers swaying in a breeze. Sometimes they're water fountains. It's showing like what you think must be pre-war Earth scenes. There's crowds of people laughing and smiling.
Are they wearing mouse ears?
No, they're not wearing mouse ears. There are families. There are some of them have long ropes or lines of some kind, and U-size creatures walking around on all fours at the end of the ropes. And it's kind of calming with the music playing. And as you're watching this, some text fades in on the screen, and it says, "Even though crisis has overwhelmed us, there is no need to be afraid. There is no need to panic. Remember, everyone can do their duty." There's a picture, a still image, it's not moving anyway, of an infant and some kind of domesticated animal. Just they're two separate images, and words fade in on the screen, and it says, "Children and pets, the littlest heroes." And then the image fades again and comes back up and says, "You needn't go through this alone. Report to the medical bay. Be with friends. There's no need to fear when the end comes."
That's screwed up.
And there's a light blue screen that sort of fades to a dark blue, and words scroll up from the bottom, and it says, "Remember, compliance is mandatory. A security android will be by your living quarters to ensure your compliance." That fades out, and then it starts back up again.
Okay. So I'll look at the guys and see what they think, what they want to go from here, or we want to move on. What do we want to do?
Yeah, I
say
think
we exterminate everything.
Yeah.
So what do adventurers?
Kind of getting the forest green vibe going here. Do we want to try to find more stuff on the station, or do we want to try to get out of here?
I don't know. We were looking for
We got all them
supplies.
little children.
well, we definitely need to get out of this room because
Yeah.
they know we're here, right?
Oh yeah.
We should go
Well,
somewhere else.
it is a computer controlled facility now. I'd say they know wherever we're at. They probably got
That's
eyes
probably
everywhere.
Good point.
I'm going to
Do
use
we-
my spear, and as we pass cameras and stuff, I'm going to jab my spear into those things.
Okay. That does slow you down a little bit because, you kind of got to make sure you get them all.
Yep.
But you're
I think
able
that's a nice
to.
idea. Yeah, I'll help out.
All right. You're able to smash all of those out as you go. So let's see. You walk for another half an hour. So you round the corner and come into what can only be described as, what you have on your map and what you see before you. The map really undersells it. Because it is nothing less than an outside area inside. The hard, whatever worked stone or whatever floor is underneath you gives way to a springy green substance that I say it's springy, but it actually kind of crunches under your feet. And looking behind you, you can see you're leaving footprints in it. Like maybe it's crumbled. It's kind of denatured a little bit. But it looks like very, very closely cropped turf or grass. And there are rows of what appear to be homes. In front of some of them are grav sleds that are just sitting on the ground. Some of the grav sleds have those cases stacked on them. And that is where we're going to leave it up in the air for this week, guys. A little bit of a cliffhanger there. Everything is not okay at the moon base. I hope you're as ooked out as I intended you all to be by this. So I want to once again, I want to thank everybody in the audience for sticking around tonight. Guys, have a safe and happy 4th of July or 1st of July for our friends from up north. And we'll see you all. Well, I'll see you guys all next week. And our audience, hopefully you guys will stick around for whatever we bring you next week. That should be a lot of fun. I'm going to catch up on Stranger Things, the back half. So I'm sure I'll have some stuff to say about Stranger Things, and we'll talk about S4. We'll go back to the Lost Caverns of Tsojconth and all of its weirdness. So for everybody here at the Delver's Dungeon, thank you all for watching. Thank you very, very much. I always appreciate it. So big thanks to Volcano God for the super chat. I appreciate that. You guys have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you next time. Peace, everyone.
Good night.